Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle and this is Danielle's Books. Thanks for stopping by. This is going to be a massive library book haul. So, if you did not know, which I mention it all the time, I work at a library, so it's very easy for me to get new releases as well as just books in general. And that's been nice because we just had a baby a couple months ago, and so we've kind of been on like a book buying ban pretty much all year. And so the library has been the best resource to get some new books, and I kind of went ham before I went on maternity leave. So that's basically what this is going to be. I have this kind of set up in like stacks, and I'll kind of explain them as I go. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I would love to have you, and also give this video a thumbs up if you like library hauls, and also if you've read any of these books, comment down below your thoughts. I will try and have all of these books I talk about linked down below. Big task, but I'm going to do what I can. So also down below there's going to be like the podcast, Storygraph, Goodreads, all of that. So just check out the description box and you'll see everything you need to see. So let's start off with some books that have been featured in videos, and that would be this stack first. So I did a video where I read a bunch of new releases, and it ended up being a bunch of like October releases. So first up we have Black Sheep. I read this, I enjoyed this, and this one is about a girl named Vesper who kind of like fled her family because she didn't like she comes from a very religious family, and she didn't like fall in line with what their beliefs were and everything. So she kind of fled the family, but she gets an envelope with an invite to a wedding of one of her cousins who used to be her best friend. And so she's kind of brought back to the family, and a lot of things happen from there. So this one has a lot of religious themes in it, if that's something you're interested in. I didn't know, or I didn't think I was interested in that, but I read another book in that video, and this one is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, and this one also had some religious themes in it, and I also enjoyed this one. So this is the second Ashley Winstead book that I have read, and I enjoyed them both. I have not read the really popular one, the knife one. I don't know. This one we're following Ruth, and again, she's the preacher's daughter in this town, and her and her friend, like Emmett, their friendship was like my favorite part of this book, and it really helped carry the story, in my opinion. Ashley Winstead's book last year, The Last Housewife, was my favorite book of the year. This one will not be my favorite book of this year, just spoiler alert, but I actually really did like this one. And yeah, I read two religious thrillers back to back, and I enjoyed them both. So if you are interested in something like that, I would definitely check both of those out. And then the next one I also read is Out There Screaming, which is an anthology of new Black horror, edited by Jordan Peele. This one I ended up giving 3.5 stars. This is one of my favorite covers of the year, though. Fun fact, there was a story collection is basically almost never going to get over 4 stars for me, just because you like stories, you don't like stories. It's hard to, I'd have to like enjoy every single story for it to hit that 4 or 5 star range. So this one's a 3.5 star. I can let you know who wrote some of my favorite books or favorite stories. N.K. Jemisin was one. Tananarive and P. Jelly Clark and Tochi Onyebuchi, I think that's how you say the name. But yeah, fun times. And if you're looking for a good anthology collection, give this one a go. Those all came out in October, like I said. Next up, some books that were featured in a video. I did a 2023 thrillers that I want to read before the end of the year, or I still need to read. And then I also did a horror edition of that. So a couple thrillers that I got out are The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding, Robin Harding is an author that I really enjoy. I've actually just very barely started this book. I kind of got sidetracked because I was doing a extreme horror vlog that's been posted. I can link that above. I'll try and link all of these videos that I'm going to be talking about in this video in the description box because I won't be able to link them all. This one says, a deliciously twisted story of friendship, retribution, and betrayal about a homeless woman fleeing a dangerous past and the wealthy society wife she saves from drowning, who pulls her into a dark web of secrets and lies. I haven't heard too many people talk about this book, but the people who I have heard talk about it have enjoyed it. I've literally only read the first chapter, so I can't give you my thoughts so far. But yeah, there's The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding. And then the other one I have that I talked about in that video is Looking Glass Down by Catriona Ward. I haven't read anything by her. This one is another masterful story from Catriona Ward about friendship, betrayal, dark obsessions, and the impossibility of escaping your own story. It looks like this one's set in a cottage overlooking the Maine coast, and we're following a character named Wilder Harlow, who has begun the last book he will ever write. Interesting. So yeah, I really don't know much more about this one, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this one either, but this is, like I said, a thriller that I wanted to maybe get to before the end of the year. The end of the year is coming quickly, so I'm not too sure how that's going to go. But there's that video. Next up, like I said, I did a horror edition of that video. And so some that I have out from the library for that one were Natural Beauty, Ling Ling Huang by Ling Ling Huang. This is another one that I read only one chapter in and just barely started. So this is one I'm hoping to keep continuing reading, obviously, and finish up soon. Let's see if there's a blurb in here. Sly, surprising, and razor-sharp, Natural Beauty follows a young musician into an elite, beauty-obsessed world where perfection comes at a staggering cost. So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. And then also, just to touch on another one, I think maybe in the same vein, is Rouge by Mona Awad. I think, like, a trend that's happened at least towards the end of this year has been, like, horror, kind of like about beauty, and I think both of these fall in line with that trope, I guess, or theme. I don't really know. This one, I don't know anything beyond that, but I can read you the blurb. It says, a horror-tinged gothic fairy tale about a lonely dress shop clerk whose mother's unexpected death sends her down a treacherous path in pursuit of youth and beauty. Can she escape her mother's fate and find a connection that is more than skin deep? So yeah, there you have Rouge by Mona Awad. Excited to get to that one. And then a couple more that were in that video are Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. This is one that's kind of more of a top priority from, I guess, this whole video. This is one that I really, really want to get to. And this one says, Anna and Reed needed a lucky break. The horrifyingly complicated birth of their first child has left Anna paralyzed, bitter, and struggling with mobility, with her relationship with Reed, and with resentment for her baby. That's about to change with the words any New Yorker would love to hear. Affordable housing lottery. And then I'm just going to kind of stop there, and a whole bunch of stuff goes on from there. So I did not read Nat Cassidy's other book, which is Mary, but that's another one that I do want to read. I just kept wanting to get it out from the library, and it was like always checked out. But this one I got my hands on right away. And so it also says, there's no place like home. So yeah, this is one, like I said, that's a top priority for me and was also featured in that video. And then the other one I have from that video is Night's Edge by Liz Karen. This one, is this YA? I'm not totally sure. This one on the back says, I'm always careful not to disturb mom. A rude awakening can definitely set her off, especially if she wakes up hungry. I can't forget what she could do to me. Ooh, is this like a vampire story? I honestly don't know anything about this, but that's something I'm very interested in. So yeah, I've heard really, really, really good things about this one. So there you have Night's Edge by Liz Karen. Next up, actually, none of the other books that I have to talk about are part of a video that I've already done, but I do still have them kind of sectioned off. So I'm going to do I have 4 that are kind of like oddball picks. They don't really fit into like a video per se. They just kind of were ones that I picked up on a whim. So the first one is a little novella called Your Mind is a Terrible Thing by Hailey Piper. I am not going to read the synopsis of this because it's such a short novella, and I think that for most novellas, I don't really want to know much going into them because they're such a short story. But I just kind of picked this up because not a lot of libraries get like horror novellas, and so when I saw this, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, especially if I can try it for free. So yeah, there you have Your Mind is a Terrible Thing by Hailey Piper. I think this is like a sci-fi horror. So yeah, and I haven't read anything by Hailey Piper, so excited to give this one a try. Next up is one that I have been very interested in, and this will probably show up on my December TBR, so there's a sneak peek for that. And this is Moon of the Crusted Snow by, I really don't want to get their name wrong, but this one says, let me see, as one society collapses, another is reborn. With winter looming, a small northern community goes dark. Cut off from power and communication with no foreseeable resolution, only very few residents truly realize the community's shortfalls. When unexpected visitors arrive, escaping the crumbling society to the south, tensions rise and allegiances are divided. The harsh winter months pass slowly and the food supply dwindles as the death toll and panic rise. But the greatest threat to the survival of the reserve might come from within the community itself. So this one is clearly very much so a winter read, and so I really wanted to check this out because if I'm going to read this, I'd like to read it in the wintertime. So there you have Moon of the Crusted Snow. Next up is Death Valley by Melissa Broder. This came out September, October, something like that, and this is a book that I have read. I have not talked about this at all in a video, I don't think, but you will hear me talk about this book towards the end of the year. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I really, really enjoyed this book, and this is kind of something I picked up totally on a whim. Like, I don't even really know why I decided to pick it up. It might have been the cover because I think this cover is stunning. But yeah, this is like a survival story. This girl, she's kind of dealing with a lot. Her dad has been in the ICU. Her husband's sickness is like always getting worse. And so she's kind of, and she's also in the middle of trying to write like her novel. So she kind of escapes and goes to like this desert in California, Death Valley. And because she's wanting to research for her book and kind of get away from all of the like home, like stuff she's dealing with. And she finds a cactus in the middle of the desert. The cactus kind of has like a portal she can go into. This is a very weird book, but I really enjoyed it. This book has a lot of like good quotes in it, and also it talks about grief a lot, which is something I didn't know that I enjoyed in books, but I really enjoyed it this time. So there you have Death Valley by Melissa Broder, and like I said, you'll hear me talk about this again in a few weeks, more in depth. So there's that one. This one is very much so out of my comfort zone, and that is Shark Heart, A Love Story by Emily Haybeck. This one just got nominated in a few different categories for the Goodreads Choice Awards, fun fact, but this is one that I had the audiobook for, and I was like, I'll just pick up the physical copy. I don't really know anything about this, and also it's like a romance, and that's something I'm definitely not reading right now, but I kind of was interested in this one. So it says, it's a gorgeous debut novel of marriage, motherhood, metamorphosis, and letting go. This intergenerational love story begins with newlyweds Ren and her husband Lewis, a man who over the course of 9 months transforms into a great white shark. Interesting. So yeah, this is one that I haven't heard a ton about, but the people who have talked about it have really, really enjoyed it. So I wanted to give this one a shot, and that is Shark Heart by Emily Haybeck. Next up, we have a few thrillers that I picked up that I was just curious about. They weren't featured in any videos, like I said. The first one I have is The Quiet Tenant by Clemence Michelon. I'm not sure. But this one, the only thing I remember from reading the synopsis was that it sounded very much so like Notes on an Execution, which was one of my favorite books from last year. This one says, a pulse-pounding psychological thriller about a serial killer narrated by those closest to him, his 13-year-old daughter, his girlfriend, and the one victim he has spared. So that setup is quite literally like the exact same as Notes on an Execution. And like I said, that one really worked for me. I've heard good things about this thriller as well. So yeah, there you have The Quiet Tenant by this author. Next up, we have Wendy Walker's American Girl. So a few months ago, I read What Remains by Wendy Walker. And that was a book I kind of just like picked up on a whim. I think I had like a Libro credit for it. And I read it, and it was very surprising. Like, I don't usually do like the most disappointing, most surprising videos at the end of the year. But if I did, that book would be one that was like most surprising, because I went into it not expecting anything. I hadn't heard like amazing things about Wendy Walker as a writer in general, but I really, really liked that book. And so I wanted to pick up her new one, which is American Girl. I guess she came out with 2 books this year. So yeah, this one is American Girl. I don't know anything about this one. I literally just picked it up because I liked that last one. This one says, a small town business owner is found murdered, and a teenage girl is caught in the crosshairs. Can she find the killer before someone else winds up dead? So this one's a short one too, and I'm really excited to get to this one. I actually think that I will try and read this one before the end of the year, just because I like the other one so much. And so I want to see if, she can go 2 for 2 this year. So there you have American Girl by Wendy Walker. And then the last one for this little stack is actually, I don't think it's technically a thriller. I think it's more so like a cozy mystery. And that is The Golden Spoon by Jessa Maxwell. This one I also have the audiobook from my library, so that's kind of why I picked up the audiobook. And this one I kind of wanted to read to vet for my mom, because I think this is about like the Great British Baking Show, or like something along the lines of that. And she's not really like a thriller mystery reader, but I think she could like a cozy mystery. And if it kind of has that as like a setting, as like the backdrop, I think that she might like this. And I kind of wanted to read it before her to make sure it wasn't like so like murdery, I guess. This one says, when someone turns up dead on the set of TV's hottest baking competition, the contestants must band together in search of a killer before one of them is the next elimination. Love that. So yeah, this one I'm hoping to get to soon, because like I said, I have the audiobook from my library on Libby, so now would be the time to read it. And then the last stack that I have, there's 3 books. I'm planning to do a video with these 3 books, so I guess that's a sneak peek or a spoiler. There were 3 Christmassy thrillers that came out towards the end of this year, and I wanted to read them all and put them all in a reading vlog in December. First up, we have The Christmas Appeal. This one, I don't know anything about any of these going into them, but this one I know is about, from reading the back, a play, or it's centered around like a holiday play in this town. And I think someone like winds up dead during the play, and then like, whatever. Hence like the thriller, trying to figure out who was killed and why and all that good stuff. So there you have The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. I haven't read anything by Janice Hallett before. Next up, we have Lisa Unger's Christmas Presents. Let's see if there's a blurb in here. This one says, a true crime podcaster unwraps a bookseller's dark past in this chilling holiday mystery. So, I do like the true crime podcast element in books. Yes, it's overdone. I agree with all the people who say that. But it usually works for me. So I'm excited that one of these books has that element to it. And beyond that, I don't know much more about it. But like I said, it's a Christmas thriller and I'm excited to read it for that video. Last up, we have The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson. I love this cover so much. It's so Christmassy. It's so fun. And this one says a spectacularly spine-chilling story of an American student spending the holidays in a British manor house where she discovers dangerous secrets and a grim history hidden behind a seemingly charming Christmas celebration. So that's all I've got for this one. This one is literally under 100 pages. And I don't know if I've read anything by Peter Swanson. I might be like acting dumb right now, like I totally have. I don't think I have, because I haven't read his really popular one, The Kind Worth Saving. I actually started that one. I read like a couple chapters and then I got distracted by other books. But it is one that I want to read. And I want to read this one again for that Christmas video. So there you have The Christmas Guest. And there you have my massive library book haul. I am always going to the library. I'm always checking out books. So if you like this type of book or like this type of video, let me know, because it's something I can kind of do like maybe quarterly. Keep it kind of like regular, because like I said, I'm always getting books in and out of the library because I work there. So, like I said, I will have all of these books linked down below if any of them sound intriguing to you. And while you're down there, check out everything else that's linked in the description box and subscribe to this channel, because I would really, really, really love to have you. And I will just see you in the next video. Bye!